Ba, 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 ba. I got Timmy's from Tim Hortons. Welcome back, all of my awesome subscribers. Thank you for watching my last video. Oh, you didn't? You didn't watch my last video? Oh, well, that's a little awkward. If you haven't, go check it out. First thing, before we get this episode started, I watched the Bad Batch. Bad Batch spoilers, okay? Don't click to it. Click to the whatever until you see space engineer stuff. But I saw the latest episode of Bad Batch, and in that there was one thing that just kind of made me angry, which it's not that big of a deal. There's a character and she's a Trandoshan. A Trandoshan is the lizard species in Star Wars, or one of them. And she sounds just like any normal old lady. And you might be like, okay, whatever, that's an old lady Trandoshan. It sounds like an old lady. No! Trandoshans aren't supposed to sound like that. Native Trandoshan speakers are more like... kind of like that. So there was no accent whatsoever. I guess she's just very fluent in whatever English is called in Star Wars. I feel like I should know that. Anyways, it was still a really good episode. If you have Disney Plus, I suggest checking it out. Now for what you have all come here for. The engines and refining. So let's just get right into it. And this is what I've gotten so far. And I have to say, this is looking on point. So all I've really done, if you could tell, is I added these little greeblies in between this little trench area of the Star Destroyer. And I think it really makes it look like mechanical. You know, it's got like a real Star Destroyer feel to it. Having these little bips and bobs pointing out and poking out. And I also have the DLC, these neon lights. And it acts really well as like, kind of like those little glowing window areas on the real Star Destroyer. So if we come over here to this side, it actually glows just in certain areas and makes it look like, you know, there might be windows or, you know, flashing lights or, well, little exposed lighting areas. We also did the engines, but I think the most impressive part of this build is this very Star Wars-esque hangar ray shield. So in Star Wars, they always have like that blue hazy kind of like hangar bay area, and all I did was use a projector block, and I projected just a small like cube, or I guess rectangle you'd say, into this little area with the neon lights going all the way around to really give it a glowing feel. And, you know, make sure that there's some sort of light. I may add like a little bit of like interior lights to actually make it like shine, but I think this is pretty good. Just a dimly lit area, you know that the ray shield's here. You can pass through it. There's also a mod, I believe, that you can get, and it actually makes it airtight on the other side, which is really cool. So you could pass through it and it's airtight on the other side, like in Star Wars. But I think this is fine. I think this looks really good, and I'm very pleased with the look. Then if we come to the bottom, I made this little bulb area. It's pretty tucked in there, and I'm okay with that. I don't mind how tucked it is in here. This will be the life support system, so actually it's gonna have all of the necessary components in the ship. So it's gonna have most likely all the O2 generators, O2 tanks, and I think I may even have like a little bit of a viewing port on the bottom so you can view all the downward facing cannons, because we're gonna have a fuck ton of them. And if we come to the top, I have extended and raised this top section, and I made it at a different kind of slope to mimic the slope of the rest of the ship, because it was too steep of an angle and I don't want it exactly flat. So I think this is the best that I could get with it, and I don't mind the look of it. It's kind of a little wonky, but I'm alright with the way it looks and turns out. We have a lot more room and space, so I can add windows. I may add greeblies in here like I did down here. I just kind of forgot about this part. We raised the cab, made it taller, and smoothed out the edges. You said, someone said in the comments they want the cab to look better. In my design, I wanted it kind of have this very square, very tucked in bridge. Like, it is raised, but it's still kind of low and close to the hull of the ship. And I wanted to keep that feel going forward. As well as we also have the spherical shield generators, and may I say, they look very, very spherical. And we have plenty of room to add, not a large shield generator, but small shield generators, and that's fine. And if you've played Empire at War, and I'm pretty sure this is canonical, the Star Destroyer isn't known for its shielding capability. The Mon Calamari cruiser, however, is, and I think that's what the Rebels excel in. So obviously with this ship, we're solely focusing on firepower rather than shielding. So just a couple small shield generators, maybe one on the interior just to have like a backup shield generator. And if I place this ship in the sun, you can see that we have the engine area, and I think this looks fucking awesome. So we've got the thrusters here. You can clearly see them. They're all pointing outwards because the Star Destroyer has smaller thrusters. I I could easily go and look, but from what I remember, they have, I think it's only 4 smaller ones. I don't know if they have these tiny ones on the end, but I do know that the Star Destroyer is known for these 3 large thrusters. So I was very adamant on adding these and making sure that I had them. Now, I don't know exactly how I'm going to incorporate thrusters into these large thrusters. Because as you can tell, the large thrusters actually fit into these smaller ones pretty much perfectly. And so they can be exposed, they look great, and that's fine. Obviously, every other directional thrust will be inside these thruster areas, and you'll be able to walk around in them. Honestly, after I'm done with this, I'm going to work on the interior to the point where you may be able to have like your own PvP match inside the Star Destroyer. So yeah, and from the back, it really does look like just another kind of variant of a Star Destroyer, because it's got that exact same layout on the back. It's got that nice angled look. It's got that tucked in command bridge. I don't know if it's actually what it's called, but it kind of looks like the Interdictor class Star Destroyer, the one with the large gravity well balls on the side of the ship that prevent ships from jumping, just because of the tucked in bridge. But yeah, so far I'm really liking the look of the ship. So I think in the next episode, we'll actually just take a look at adding the components inside the ship to make it fully hooked up, so that we can figure out where each gun mount is going to go, where the point defense will be, as well as hooking up the life support, the engine bay, and the reactor room, which will be its own separate room that you can walk around and go inside. A lot of the space will probably meant for hangar space, as we have plenty of room for hangar space, and directional thrust room. Most of the interior on the top will be set for, you know, actually living quarters. So a very small portion of it. But that's all I have for this video. Thank you all so much for watching and tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you did, please consider leaving a like. And if you're not subscribed, do so. Click that bell icon so you're notified whenever I upload a new video. If you haven't checked out my Call of Duty video and you want a good laugh, go ahead, check it out. It's pretty funny. I think so. It's a quick little video. Also, big thing, we're almost at 1,000 subscribers. I think by the time I post this, we'll probably have hit 700 subscribers. And in that, I thank you, my soldiers and generals, for the generals who are still with us. Gonna have to do a new subscriber wall, yes. I need the most loyal of loyal subscribers for my generals. But that's all I have for today. Thank you all so much for watching, and stay tuned for the next episode. And as always, stay safe, stay chonk, stay strong. I think I'm gonna go work out after this. Your Lord, Chonkers, out.